You've been asked to work harder, execute faster, execute relentlessly, and that's what you've been doing. You have multiple jobs, multiple businesses, you're constantly working, you have no time for your family, you have no time for friends, you don't even have time for workouts or eating healthy, cooking good food, or keeping your house clean and mess free. You have no time for anything because all you're doing is working. Then why is it that you're not getting the level of success that some people are getting by doing literally half the amount of work? Hi, I'm Nancy, a millionaire astrologer and a certified hypnotist. Astrology helps me see the blocks in your birth chart, and hypnosis helps remove those blocks at a deep, fundamental subconscious level. Over my years of experience, I have seen so many birth charts. And there is a fundamental core difference between the birth charts of the people who are successful and the birth charts of the people who are not successful. And that's what we're going to dive into today. So, in astrology, as you might know, there are 12 houses. There are 12 houses, the first house, second house, third house, all the way to the 12 houses. But there are only a few houses that represent identity. And in charts, birth charts that I see where the person is not getting success, they are not getting an activation of the identity house. Now, what are these identity houses? These houses are house number 1 and house number 10. House number 1 is the identity of yourself, and house number 10 is the identity or what people perceive you as or what you project out in the world. For example, at home, I may be a certain character, right? But when I go out to work, I'm a different character. When I'm recording a video, I'm a different character. When I'm going to the library, I'm a different character. All these characters that we are presenting when we are in front of someone else, those are our 10th house characters. Okay, everything that we are presenting, projecting in front of others, whoever it may be, we may be doing this in even within our own home. We may be projecting a certain character to our spouse. We may be projecting a certain character with our children, with our in-laws, with our friends. With every person, we have a separate character that we present, especially in your work, in your business, in your career. You present a certain, because that's what most people spend the maximum time when they're away from home or when they're with people, they're mostly working. So that's your fundamental, what you're presenting out to the world. Now, in charts where I see success, both the first house and 10th house are highly activated, which means, and there are no negative impacts to it, which means the person really understands their identity, their true self, and are able to project that exact true self outside. Like when people see them outside in the world, they are the same as what they feel they are internally. There's no difference or dichotomy between what they think they are and what they're presenting to the world. So, in most people who do not get success, there are two fundamental things. One is there is no activation of the first house, so they don't understand who they are. They don't understand who they fundamentally are. So, when you don't know what you are, how can you even project that part of you outside in the world, that authentic part of you outside in the world? You have no clue how to do that. And the second thing is you know what you are, but you are so afraid to show that side of you outside that you create a different version of you, and that's the version that you present outside in the world. So let me give an example of myself. Okay, so for example, I have, like, ignoring what my first house activation or the 10th house activation is. So I grew up in Delhi in India, and where the skin color is such a big issue. Okay, so I was on the deep dark brown complexion, like I am that complexion. So in Delhi, that was like a big deal in the negative sense. So I may be doing great academically, I may be doing great extracurricular activities wise, right? And if someone was annoyed at me or someone is jealous of me seeing my success in those areas, they would immediately pull in the trigger of, oh, you look so black in this outfit, oh, you look so ugly today, oh, what, didn't you take a shower today? Like something to always project that my color was inadequate for where I was. So, what happened because of that? Because of this, I slowly muted myself. Slowly, I wanted to be kind of hidden. That way, no one would really think of me as a girl. I started dressing up more like a boy, always had like super short hair or always like in, boyish clothes, because I didn't want to be perceived as a girl or perceived as someone who's even vying to be a competition with any of the pretty girls. I tried to not look pretty. So if someone says, "Oh, you look ugly," I could quickly say, "Oh, that's because, I'm not dressed today," or something. Like I could put the excuse back to like some other factor, right? So I tried to create a shell of, to protect myself. I hid. I put like some layers over me of, invisible layers over my personality, so I wouldn't be seen, I wouldn't be judged, and muted my capabilities, muted my inherent talent, muted my inherent understanding of things, muted my godly presence in a huge way. So that's what happened with my first house. So since my first house was so afflicted, right? I felt so badly about myself. I thought I was ugly and I had to hide. That muted version of me is what I projected to the world. And that muted version is not my true version. That's a muted, shallow, how do I say, a very diluted version of me, which didn't feel worthy of success, which didn't feel worthy of getting easy money, easy success, easy recognition. I felt I had to like really struggle hard. I had to be so much better than the beautiful girls, right? I have to overcompensate by being good. I have to overcompensate by, people pleasing. I have to overcompensate by doing extra hard work to be perceived as successful or worthy of money or worthy of recognition or worthy of anything. So majority of the people when I went to work were like this. They were all hustling, grinding, working. Like it was just too much. Then one day what happened is a very beautiful, like, a white, blonde haired girl. She came into work. Okay. And suddenly like everything was so, like there was just some aura shift in the room. Everyone was brighter, right? She barely did anything, but soon in a couple of months time she was like really getting recognized for promotion. Already she had just begun. She was getting recognized to be the key person to be seen. She was getting recognized to be like presenting at town halls as a, as the person who would introduce all the guest speakers. And I was like, what is this? Like, what did she do? Like, she's barely even working. What is she even doing to deserve all of this? Right? And it was like very annoying. So I had to like journal and sit down and really figure out like what was I doing fundamentally wrong. Like I had all the astrology background, etc. Right? Like I know all of this and piecing things together in my head. And I'm like, what is this thing that I'm doing wrong that this girl who's just come in, right? Easy breezy, just doing barely light touch work. But, I always wanted to be the person presenting at the town hall. I wanted to be the person speaking on the podium. Why was I not getting that opportunity, though I knew the content? I'm the SME on the subject, but I wasn't getting the opportunities in my corporate job. So one day, as I sat down and I was journaling, something clicked in me. And that thing was like, Nancy, how would you work? How would you project yourself in this world if you were this beautiful, white, blonde haired girl? How would you be in this world? And again, I don't want anyone to think of this negatively, that I'm thinking about this white, blonde kind of prototype. But for me, as I'm telling you, because growing up, I was always bullied for being dark. So whenever I saw someone light skinned, it became like a trigger point for me. Like I would immediately become, like if I'm in a room and I'm, doing great, but if there's a beautiful light skinned girl who comes across, I would quickly hide myself. I would quickly turn into a totally different version, a very muted, shallow version, or a diluted version of myself who's hiding because I didn't want to be seen and compared with this beautiful girl. So that day, as I sat down to journal, I really started writing my trigger points. Like, why am I getting so triggered? And I was like, okay, I'm getting triggered by light skinned women. Why am I getting triggered by light skinned women? Because I think I'm below them. I am uglier than them. Why do you think you're uglier than them? Why do you think that dark skin is uglier than white skin? It's like because every time someone wanted to put me down, they immediately just said I look ugly because I'm dark. And that kind of gave me something in my head that dark is not pretty. So as I kept kind of going in and looking into my shadow self, I had realized that I'm operating in this world because of my fears, based on my fears. Right? Everything that I was doing, extra working hard, being extra good, doing all, going above and beyond, executing like crazy, was all because I did not feel worthy to receive anything easily. I did not feel fundamentally forget easily. I did not feel worthy to receive money. I did not feel worthy to receive love. I did not feel worthy to receive recognition. I did not feel worthy to receive praise. I did not feel worthy for anything. I did not feel worthy to even get good, just basic good food. Whatever was given, eat it, be glad you're getting food. Like, I just didn't feel worthy that I had the right to say, no, I don't want this food. I don't, I have a preferred food or a preferred drink. I did not feel worthy to ever say what my preference was because I fundamentally did not feel worthy. I felt below others. I felt below any beautiful girl. Then, as I started journaling, I started thinking, forget if I forgot about my color, my height, my heritage, if I forgot about all of that, what would I be doing differently? Right? Like if I forgot all of that and I was like, overnight put into a model body, like, whatever that model body is. Like if I'm put into Angelina Jolie's body or I'm put into, I don't even watch much TV, so I don't even know some of the popular names. But if I am put into a smoking hot body, a beautiful girl, like who based on today's standards is considered very beautiful, if I'm put into that person's body, what would I be doing differently? And I sat and wrote down what version of me would be, projected to the world. And then as I was writing it down, I realized I wouldn't be working this hard. Like because I would be more focused on taking care of myself. I wouldn't be if I love myself, I feel I'm so great. Like would I be struggling and working this hard? No. I would feel worthy of praise. I would feel worthy of money. Just my presence in my workplace would be worthy of recognition, promotion, and everything. How would I dress? I would dress differently if I felt I want to be seen because I'm feeling so good about myself. I would dress differently. I would dress differently when I'm at work. I would dress differently at home. I would dress differently when I'm doing chores. I would literally dress so much better at in everything that I would do in life. I would eat differently because now I would feel like I'm worthy of something. I would eat differently. I would eat healthier. I would eat my fruits and vegetables. I would get my protein. I would eat so much differently. I would work out daily. I would not neglect my body. I would actually do some workouts. I would actually take care of myself, of my mind, my body, my face, every bit of it, right? Because I would actually read more so that, I can, because I want to be smarter as well. I would read more. I would do more fun activities, I would act in a totally different way. So that's exactly what I did for the next couple of days. And I was just like, I wasn't even consciously doing it. I wrote it down on my journal that I'm going to eat better, I'm going to work out, I'm going to dress better no matter what. I would keep my surroundings clean no matter what, even if no one's watching me. I would do my work at the best of my capability, knowing that someone is watching, and like do best of my capability, but then prioritize myself because I am the prize. I would work only to a point, then take rest, spend time with family and friends. I was just prioritizing myself. So literally, I had removed previously, when, if you would look diagrammatically, previously everyone was here. People, places, situations, food, like everything else was kept on a pedestal. Everything else was a prize. And I was here. This was me. I had put all of these things, everything, on a pedestal, and I was like looking for it. Give me this, give me this, give me good situations, give me good places to be, give me good food, give me good opportunities, let me be with smart people, let me, I was chasing all of these things. And as I was chasing, all of these things were going away from me. Because when you chase something energetically, when you're going after something, that thing runs away, right? So slowly, as I did post my journaling, I flipped this around. Okay? I flipped this around. I'm like, no matter what, I am the priority. Okay? I am the priority. Everything else, work, secondary, business, secondary, family, secondary, friends, secondly. Everything else was second. I put myself in the priority zone, which means my mental health was a priority, my physical health was a priority. Every little thing was a priority. Like the peace of mind was a priority. And as soon as I made myself this priority, literally the changes happened so fast. It happened so fast. There was an announcement made like around a weekish time after I started doing this. A group of us, there was an email invite that came from my manager, and it says replan. And I got so scared. I was like, oh gosh, replan. Now I think I'm going to be made to work under this new girl who's come. And that would be so, like, that looks so bad because I had years of experience. And I was like, shoot, like, am I going to be now reporting under this newbie? And, I started thinking all of these weird scenarios. And then 30 minutes before the meeting, I was like, you know what? Let me sit down to meditate. Thankfully, I was working from home. So I was like, let me sit down to meditate. So I sat down to meditate and made my mind completely blank. And as I made my mind completely blank, I told myself this truth. I was like, Nancy, they may put you under this girl, they may put you under someone even more junior, but that doesn't determine your value. You are inherently valuable just as you are, in your full, true expression. And that time it just dawned upon me, we are all from the one point of creation. We all came from that one source, right? That one true source. And if I came from that one true source, that means if I'm part of the one true source, means I am the one true source. And when that dawned upon me, it was so fundamentally important to me. It's like, if I am the source and if I'm one with the source, people can throw stones at me. My value is not going to diminish. I continue to be valuable. I continue to be top priority. I continue to put myself on the pedestal. So as I continued to journal, as I realized that I'm one with the true creator, I'm one with source, it dawned upon me that if this is source and we are all part of source, then everyone else is also part of source. If I am here, a part of the source, right? Elon Musk is here, Angelina Jolie is here, Bipasha Basu, Priyanka Chopra is here. All the top people like we know, Steve Jobs is here. Everyone that we know, each one of us that we think are super successful, each one of us are part of this creator. And the fundamental thing that the successful people have realized is that they are one with source. They may not say it verbally, but this is what they have realized, that they are one with source, which means that they have the power of the source. So, for example, if I have a business and someone buys a, someone not very well known buys a 10% stake in my business, I may not really see an increase in my business. However, if tomorrow Elon Musk comes to me and say, Nancy, I think you're the best astrologer in the world with the best hypnosis skills. I'm going to partner with you and I'm going to take 25% of your company. Do you think my company is going to grow massively? Absolutely, because now I have the backing of Elon Musk in my company. Similarly, these people who are successful have realized that they have the backing of the source with them. They have the universal power backing them. So, for example, if God comes to me and says, Nancy, I'm going to take 25% of your company, is it going to grow so much more than when Elon Musk joined my company? Absolutely, because God, the universal source, is so much more powerful, right? That if he joins me, absolutely my company is going to do great. But this is what most people who are successful have figured out, that they are one with the source, which means their identity, the first house of identity, they have now realized that their identity is not limited to what they are on this world. On this planet, because of the time of birth, because of the placements of the planets, they were stamped with a certain set of planets in the various houses. But they somehow have realized, because of the right activation of the first house and the 10th house, they have realized that their true identity is the oneness with Creator. So when you're one with the Creator, you automatically just know that you're meant for abundance. You automatically know that you're meant for love. You're meant for the best relationships. You're meant for the best siblings and brothers, sisters. You're meant for the best parents. You're meant for the best mentors. You just know you deserve everything, because of course everything is given to source for free. We all give everything to the source for free. So the top most successful people have figured that their identity is not anything to do that's on this earth. They know that their identity is unlimited. And that's the word that they're working with, unlimited. They're limitless, pretty much. Because when you have the power of the Creator with you, you become absolutely limitless. And when you have that limitless abundance mentality, everything just comes to you. Everything comes to you. You don't have to really struggle and action and do this and that. Yes, you can action. Taking action is good because it activates Mars. But taking action based on what you currently think is your identity today, you will end up taking all the wrong actions. That's why doing the actions first is all going to be wrong, because for example, you're at this level of consciousness. This is your identity. Okay, if this is your identity, you're taking actions at this level, but the source identity is here. This is the source identity, and if you are in the source identity, that's when you get the source level of success. Like the ultimate success comes here when you first shift your identity. And we're all kind of doing the reverse. We're first doing the actions. We're doing all the actions at this low level, this low level of frequency, of this low level of identity. First, you have to raise your identity to be plugged in with the creator. First, you have to raise your identity. Once you raise your identity, and that's how you're operating every single day, no matter what, that's when everything, the actions that you do, become aligned to all your dreams and desires. Anyways, coming back to the example that I was giving you, so I did all of this meditation 30 minutes before, sorry, 30 minutes before. I did all of this meditation 30 minutes before that replanned meeting that was put on my calendar. And I was like, you know what, Nancy, come what may, I'm not going to think too much. I'm not going to think about this too much. Nothing can devalue me because I know what I am. They can put me under whomever, doesn't matter. And then we had this meeting and everyone's there, and suddenly my boss comes in a very urgent tone. It's like, team, we have a huge project that's come our way. It's high visibility. It needs to be done perfectly. You will be given unlimited funds for this. This is going to be a game changer project for the firm. And Nancy is going to lead this end to end with the support of whatever team member she chooses. And I was almost in tears because somehow a part of me thought this is going to go to the new girl. I didn't even know it was a new project. I thought whatever, I was going to kind of get rolled under this new girl. But just few days of shifting into the new source identity pulled in such a big thing for me that I had never imagined. So all I had to focus on was being like the source, being as powerful as a source internally, not like taking actions, nothing externally, not even working out and all that, eating healthy, none of that. Those are secondary actions that'll come. But it was truly believing and knowing that I'm one with source and the power of source is within me, and everything I'm meant to have the best of everything. And just feeling that and believing that and being that, fundamentally just being that version of me for just a week, brought me such a huge opportunity. So fundamentally, we need to remember what we are. That is the clue here. We have to remember what we are. And sometimes we think we are the family we are born into, we are the nationality we are born into, we are the color we are born with, we are the height we are born with, we think we are the religion we are born into. Many people I know are shifting to Dubai, thinking that if they go to Dubai, that's where the wealth is, and etc., etc. That's again giving our power away to external circumstances. You can go all over the world looking for luxury, keep shifting countries, states, chasing wealth. But if you deeply do not believe you are worthy of it, you can go anywhere, it will be pointless. Sometimes, sometimes I feel sad for the people who are shifting to Dubai because I know they're thinking they're all that great. They have the cars, they are, in tall buildings and everything is luxury. But I just feel like there is a deep sadness in them that is seeking something outside of them. They are trying to seek something outside because they don't feel worthy enough. They have to be in a rich environment. They have to have the car to feel good. They have to have, whatever, like 10 girlfriends to feel all that good. And if you need all of these things to feel powerful, I think you're pretty powerless. I want you to sit down today and really get into like journaling and really write down, why are you muting yourself down? Have you forgotten where you came from? Have you forgotten your source? And when I say came from, I'm not saying your family, etc. Have you forgotten that God, when He created you, had a purpose for you? He just simply didn't throw you into this earth, right? You're one with God. You're one with the Creator. Doesn't matter what religion you're following, right? You're one with the Creator, one with the universe, and you have the power and backing of this Creator. You have the power of this universe. And if you have that kind of power, how will you eat? How will you present yourself? Will you be confident? Will you be standing tall? How's your posture going to be? Will you be breathing very fast, or would you be breathing nice and easy? Deep breaths. Would you be standing tall? Would you be standing hunched? Would you be wearing good outfits? Would you be eating healthy food? Would you be helping people out? Would you be talking to all your family and relatives? Would you be good to your friends and family? Would you be doing kind deeds? You would be a totally different person. When you're not in competition and hustling with anyone, you would be a totally different version. You don't have to be mean to people to go get up in the ladder. You don't have to be rude and yell and to get up the ladder. All you need to know is to align your identity. Like when you meditate or journal, just align your identity to the one and only source power. Now, most of you, when you sit to meditate, you will have a ton of thoughts going on in your head, right? Like all these different thoughts will keep coming, which is fine. Now, sometimes we think these thoughts is what we are. We are not the thought. Our thoughts, uh, our thoughts and emotions are basically, from an astrological perspective, aligned to moon. Often, people with debilitated moon in their birth chart seem to have a lot of ups and downs in their emotions, like they cannot seem to control their thoughts. And since they cannot seem to control their thoughts or have excessive, obsessive thoughts, that's the reason they cannot succeed in life, because they've given all their power to the thoughts. But now, today, you know that your thoughts are not you. Thought is just coming from one of the planets. It is just one aspect of you. It is not you. Your thoughts are not you. Your actions are not you. What you have is not you. Behind all your thoughts and your actions and what you have, all your worldly possessions, there is a core fundamental soul. This is you. So once you let your thoughts aside, your emotions aside, your actions aside, and everything, and go completely blank, like really create gaps from stopping, like to stop thinking. When you create those gaps in your thinking, you can align with the ultimate source power. And the more time you can spend really kind of going thoughtless, because you have to remember, thoughts are not you. Sometimes we think we have to think positive thoughts, positive thoughts. No, thoughts are not you. You don't have to struggle in trying to think positive. Those with a positive moon in their birth chart will have positive thoughts. Yay, hooray for them. Yes, life will be slightly easier for them. But you have to remember, your thoughts are not you. So cut out the thoughts. Really go, become really look at the person behind the thoughts, the person who's the observer of the thoughts. That is your identity. Your thoughts are kind of taking control of your body. Your thought is saying, oh, a soda right now will be amazing. A chilled ice cream would be amazing. Like that's your thoughts. It's completely ruling your mind and your actions. It's completely ruling each and everything, because we've let it take control over us. Once we meditate, we sit down in peace and quiet and stop thinking, like even brief windows of not thinking, even if it's like a few seconds, even few seconds of break from thinking, you will be able to align to the creative source, the ultimate creator. And this little alignment that you have with the creator will strengthen your identity. You'll remember who you are. You'll remember that you are one with the source. And when you remember that fundamental truth that you're one with the source, you will be so powerful. So powerful. No color, no height, no amount of money, nothing compares to it. No 20 boyfriends, 20 girlfriends, no number, body counts, none of it matters. Once you realize that you're one with God, everything comes to you and everything just feels aligned. You don't have to hustle so hard, because once you have a different, when the source gives you some enlightenment, right, like when you sit time meditating and removing your thoughts, you will get some flashes of insight. It doesn't have to be at that same time. You're doing your things, you're cleaning up your house, whatever, and suddenly you'll get like a hunch or an idea or something will come into your mind, and that action, aligned with that hunch, when you take action, suddenly you will see enormous success that you wouldn't have been able to see otherwise if you kept taking action at the lower level plane of consciousness, at the lower level of your identity. So the message I'm hoping I have driven to you, that we have to shift our identity, activate our first house, align it with what we present out to the world. But to first activate a first house, we need to sit and make sure we are making place for the ultimate source energy to flow into us. And then we can project it out in the world, which is the 10th house. Okay? But first, it has to flow into us. We have obliterated it with so many different masks, so many different, our traumas, etc., have put layers and layers of mass over us. We are a very shallow, diluted, muted version of ourselves. So we want to slowly remove all of those layers and truly represent the source energy through us. And of course, if you need any help through this process, happy to connect. I will leave the details in my description. But if you just follow this video and sit by yourself, you don't need any help. You will be doing great. Thank you so much for joining. Bye-bye.